Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. Our club continues to make a difference by teaching youth to succeed through literacy, education, and life skills development. My name is Michael Gordon, and I'm proud to serve as the 95th president of the greatest Rotary Club in the world. Our invocation today will be led by Dan Adamson. And while he comes to the front, let me just apologize right now. Later on in the meeting, I unfortunately have to give the microphone to past President Russ Swain, so you guys have time to digest that fact.
Fine. To serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations, and our efforts here today, may we act wisely and well. I also ask that we pray for the families of the shooting victims in Florida, and also for the families that
And our song leader today is past President Steve Linder.
Thank you very much, President Michael. Please join me in the Rotary edition of America the Beautiful. Rouse, let's sing it loudly. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain, America. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
Thank you. You may be seated. Our Sergeant at Arms today is past President Kathy Dalby, who is ready to jump into service, and I see Murray here, so that means Bob Warner.
Oh, we have an international person today?
Yes.
Two.
Actually, I'm not even going to introduce him anymore. He's a local. He even does our national anthem. You know, he goes to the hockey games and everything. Anyways, you got anything to say, Murray? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm always happy when you sing America, because Canada's part of, North America. Yeah, so thank you all for that.
That's right. But now we got the real Calgarian, Neil. Actually, it's his buddy, so. And same club. Say a few words, and then we'll have a picture.
Well, it's just a pleasure to be here, and such a club that's very active in the community, and hearing about it, and bless your hearts for doing it all.
Thank you, and thank you for visiting.
Okay. Jimmy's going to give us a quick picture here.
Well, thank you very much.
And then while they take the picture, let's move on to visiting Rotarians. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? Right there, behind you, Kathy? Behind you? There?
Oh, welcome to our club.
Thank you. I'm a member of the Portland Pearl Rotary Club. Down here for a couple of weeks looking around for some property maybe for the winter. It's raining in Portland and it's cold.
Well, good thing you said that. We have some real estate agents I'm sure would be happy to help you out.
Yeah. Any other visiting Rotarians? Okay, then let's move on to guests of Rotarians. I know we have some guests.
Oh, we certainly have some guests over here.
We have Al Wagner's wife, Luann, here. A lot of you have met her before, but you have not met my godchild, her grandson, Matthew. It's his first time at Rotary, so we're indoctrinating him.
Hello, everyone. My guest is Mark Ashworth. He is from Mass Mutual, and he is a managing director. Welcome.
Hello again. I'd like to introduce my dear lady friend, Diane Clary. And you're probably wondering why I'm dressing incognito. The fact is, I suggested to Diane that I didn't think she ought to join Rotary, so she punched me out.
Thanks for taking the hit, Jerry.
I'd like to introduce my guest today, Christy Davison, works Marcus Millichap right around the corner here, and real estate brokerage, commercial real estate brokerage. Welcome.
Thank you. Do we have any others?
Any other guests? Okay, seeing none, then I would like to introduce my two guests at the head table. Rosalie Hedrick, who's been a resident of Las Vegas since 1999. After graduation, she went directly into banking and is now an expert in small business portfolio management. She enjoys hiking, cooking, and traveling, and has been a member of our club for 4 years. And little known fact, she appeared in a Budweiser TV commercial that aired for 6 months in Central and Northern California. We still have to see that. So joining her is past President Steve Linder, who grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and graduated from the Naval Academy in 1969. Sorry. He flew Skyhawks and Harriers in the Marine Corps, retiring after 20 years, and for his second career, he worked for HSBC Bank, Nevada for 25 years. He served as our club president in 2014-2015, and he can now enjoy, according to him, his two favorite hobbies: one, Janet, his wife, and two, building model ships, cars, and planes. Please join me in welcoming all our visiting Rotarians and guests. I know we want to give the past presidents as much time as needed, so we're going to fly through our announcements. So first off, thank you everybody for the Sweethearts Luncheon for coming last week. If you weren't here, you missed out. And as you know, a sweetheart drew our joker last week and won the pot. So I am going to invite to the front Pete Samuelis to come and collect the check that his wife Pam won. And Pete, remember, we are recording this, so you better take that check straight to Pam. So for her winnings of $767, I would like to present you with this check. But more importantly, $767 goes to our foundation for our $2 million goal. Next up, Madam Sergeant at Arms, if you could take the microphone to Kim Nioni, our 25 Club Secretary, to tell us about last night's happenings.
Hello, thank you to everybody who showed up last night. We had a beautiful evening with 20 of the best Rotarians in America enjoying libations, and overall, we had fun, so I really appreciated everybody who turned out. And if you didn't, we're going to have another activity next month, so be on the lookout. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I wanted to give you a brief update on our membership committee and the stats, so I'm doing that. Interviews, we have done 21 interviews. Number of new members, we have had 13 new members. Number of potential new members coming up, we have 11. And we are presenting to the board today 2 new applicants, hopefully for approval. Our total member count from 6:30 until 2:15 is 133.
Thank you. 11 new possible members. Great job, Rosalie and Janet Linder in her absence. Janet has got a bug that Steve says he had nothing to do with, but we'll leave that right there. Then just quickly, you guys all know our big fundraiser, the car show, is coming up on April 15th. Our 95th birthday party is coming up on April 5th. We have the cigar social at past President Tom Crope's house, the St. Paddy's Day cigar social on Friday, March 16th. And then, Madam Sergeant at Arms, if you could take the microphone to Jamie Goldsmith for Wine to Water update.
Hi, everyone. You may have seen the handouts that we have on the tables. We have a Wine to Water event coming up next Saturday night at the fabulous Nora's Italian Cuisine. It will be a wonderful meal. I think it's around 5 courses and includes wine. And if you are my friend on Facebook and you go to my profile, you'll see we have an event page. We are opening this up to the public. So if you wouldn't mind sharing it to your Facebook profile, I'd really appreciate that. Do you want me to do some work too? Oh. And that's all I have to say about that.
Thank you. And then you may have seen some soccer jerseys in the crowd. So past President Kathy, if you could take it to past President
Yay, soccer.
Karen.
I know nothing about it, but I'm all in. What do they go? Yay, oh, yay, oh, yay. Is that soccer? Or, I don't know.
No, it's Go Team. Anyway, the boys are in LA right now, and they've had a great opportunity to do some sightseeing, and they played LA Galaxy a couple of nights ago, which is the number 1 in the league, and they won 3-1. So we're pretty proud of our boys, and we haven't even met them yet. They come in this afternoon at 5:30. We have a great barbecue at Russ Swain's place. And the games begin on Saturday, 10 o'clock at Betty Wilson. First game is against Salt Lake City. So if any of you can make it, we'd love to have you at the tournament. This is not just a small tournament. There's over 600 teams here from all over the world. And probably close to 100 of those teams are international teams. So come on out, cheer on the boys, and host families, thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.
And Karen, thanks.
And then I'm just going to do the drawing now so we get it out of the way. So for the drawing, the number is 849155. 849155. Carrie Groves, our new member. Seven of spades. Yay. Thank you. And then for the Lowry Bucks, the number is 849144. 849144. Oh, hello. Welcome back, Bob Barnard. More chocolate cigars? He's not even wearing his lucky tie. Thank you. Now please enjoy a quick 4 minutes for lunch and fellowship, and we'll be back. Welcome back, Rotarians. I hope you enjoyed your lunch and your fellowship. And now comes the time that I warned you about. I'm going to call to the front past President Russ Swain.
Hey, fellow Rotarians and guests, he said Russ Swain, and usually I get a little bit of applause after that. Nothing, huh? Nothing. Hey, it's with great honor today that I was asked to help organize the Past President Luncheon. Thank you, President Michael, for giving us a few extra minutes, because I've been on each one of us. There's a long list of past presidents, and I told everybody 2 minutes each, and that's because I've never been able to talk for 2 minutes with a microphone in my hand ever. And so, if everybody else talks 2 minutes, we might get actually through this. Without any other further ado, what we're going to do is go on to our past president that was the farthest back and come forward into time. And you know what? I'm looking over here, and there's a guy sitting right over here, Rob Moore. Come on up to the microphone. Rob served from 1991 to 92. Thank you for being of service, Rob.
There you go. I could do. I'll be less than 2 minutes, I promise you. I was president in 91, 92. A lot of you probably weren't even born then. There was arguing with a lot of the old timers. A lot of them aren't with us anymore. That I really didn't even have the votes I needed to be president. And I went through the roster on exactly the accomplishments, and they were. I had a great board. I know a lot of the past presidents, they were scared to death with my proximity to the checkbook. They assigned Malcolm Clark to make sure by the end of the year I wasn't indicted for going south with money, and that we accomplished that. And but probably the biggest thing I did accomplish that's not written, that I was extremely proud of, was we had an old-time member, a prominent member of our community, Wing Fong. And we miss him terribly. And Wing was kind enough. Now, Wing was extremely successful, prominent man, businessman, and really left a statement in Las Vegas. But I can say this because I said it to his face. His command of the English language wasn't all that much, okay? And we enjoyed the entire year. He was willing to sing the national anthem every single week to us. And to me, it was the highlight. And many would say that's not much of an accomplishment, and I really couldn't argue with you. And the only other thing was I'm very, very proud of having the recognition of being the only third-generation president of our club. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Thank you very much. Okay, next on our list is past President Katie Crockett, 1995 to 96. Katie, where are you? Come on up. I got you on the list, honey. You show up in the room, and you're coming up. Well, you are coming up here. Come on, quit. 2 minutes. I'll give you 2.3 minutes because I didn't give you any preparation time.
I'll take the 0.3. Thank you. I've been out of town for 10 days and just got back last night, so I have absolutely nothing prepared. I was president in 1995-96. We had a great year. Yes, I was the first woman president. We had a lot of fun that year, mostly at my expense. Russ, I'm going to get you for this. So I don't know who's next on the list, but I'm going to turn it over to them.
Well, hey, thanks. Let's give a round of applause for Katie. 95 to 96. Okay, next on our list, past President Tom Thomas. He served 1999 to 2000. Come on up, Tom. Thank you for being of service.
Thank you, Russ. So I was the millennial president, which meant for the first half of my presidency, we had 4 different speakers on Y2K and why it wasn't going to destroy the world. I was also part of the Jim, Tom, Tom, Jim, Jim era of Rotary presidents. If you didn't have 2 of those names over a 5-year period, you didn't get in. But when I was president, we were meeting in the Desert Inn Country Club in the showroom, and the older timers will remember that we had a magnificent curtain that spanned the entire stage, said Las Vegas Rotary greets the world, and had hundreds of banners from all over the world on this deep blue curtain. And that was, the DI had one of the last showrooms in town, and unfortunately, as the food was going downhill at the DI, the price was going up. And when the two intersected a dangerous point, we started looking for a place to meet and to leave the DI. In fact, our visitors would just come and visit and not have a meal because they were charging us $26 for a buffet that wasn't worth it. So we found this great place in Ed LaPere and haven't looked back since. Interestingly enough, during one of the last couple of meetings that we had at the DI, I invited Lane Wynn to speak to us. And we then got our contract, we moved over here, and 2 weeks later, the Wynns bought the Desert Inn and announced that they were going to tear it down. And naturally, everybody thought I had this inside track, and that's why we moved to Lowry's. And I was the last one that was going to give that one up, so we did not have the inside track. It was actually just pure luck.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Okay, give him a round of applause. So in the 95 years that we've been around, you know, we've had a lot of people serve, and I'm really grateful that we had so many people be able to attend with us today. The next one of my best friends, past President Jim Hunt. He's part of that Jim, Tom, yeah. You know, you guys got it, right?
Yeah, I'm one of the Jim, Tom, Jim, Toms. I can only say a couple of things about my year as president. First of all, like everybody that's done it, I think it's the best year of your life. We had an interesting year. We had a very successful year. We had a challenging year. The first thing that we did, that with the encouragement of one of the Toms, Tom Krob, we had an idea of doing a fundraiser to buy wheelchairs. And back in those days, we raised a pretty good amount of money. $25,000 was a lot of money in 2001. And we bought 220 wheelchairs, and we delivered them with the help of fellow Rotarians like Steve Linder, delivered a lot of them with me, Ted McAdam. We had a lot of us in the room that actually went to the homes of these people and brought them a brand new shiny red wheelchair. And that was quite an experience, I can tell you that. So that was a highlight. And then we had the very sad tragedy of 9/11 struck. And I always mention that because, Michael had sent out a little email saying, talk a little bit about the behind-the-scenes things that happened during your year, if you can. And what I learned during my year was how responsive all of you are. When you're the president of the club, you're the one that gets the call. When something good happens, or there's a good idea, or there's something bad that happens. And when 9/11 happened, I got a call from a few of you in this room, Mr. Thomas, who just spoke, Jim Tucker, and within 48 hours, we had raised $10,000 and sent that to New York. And ironically, when we just had our shooting in October, it's my understanding that that club reciprocated, many years later. So that's the beauty and the love of Rotary, that these things come around and come back. And the next thing that I'm really proud of is at the time, Bob McBrien was trying to grow Santa Claus. And I think we were at somewhere around 78 kids that we had served the previous year. And I was just hell-bent and determined that we were going to go over the unreachable mark of 100 kids. And it is kind of laughable now because this year we had 365. So we've come a long ways, and that's with the determination and the support of this club. But as when you're the president, one thing you learn very quickly is how much support you have in this organization. People that will come to you and say that if there's anything you need done, just say it, I'm there for you. And they show up, and they do what they're asked to do. And I still experience that as the chairman of Santa Claus because every year I get nervous and wondering if we're going to be able to do more or do the same, and everybody pitches in and we get things done. The beauty of this club is everybody that's sitting in this room, and it's an honor to have been a president in 2001. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, we didn't get everybody on the wheel, but I got them on my list. And so the next guy that's sitting in the room that's not on that list is past President Jim Tucker, 2002 to 2003. I won't say it. There he is, right there.
And that was the only time I ever wore a tie. Not like the other presidents, they got their bow ties on today. The best part of my year was going to Brisbane with Kathy Dalby for International Rotary. It was a good time. And I decided, following Jim Hunt and the great job he did, and the wheelchairs, which followed in my year too, they were still giving them out, I decided to automate all of our documents and automate our database and provide that to make life easier for the secretary. So that was about it for me. I did enjoy it. I had some great people to follow with Jim Hunt and Tom Crow, and I'm that other Jim part.
Great job, Jim. All right, well, now we get to some of the good stuff, right? Here we go. Past President Kathy Dalby, she served 2003 to 2004.
Well, clearly I ended the Jim, Tom, Jim, whatever that was. I was president in 2003, 2004, and like everybody else, I love being president, and it is for sure the best year of your Rotary life. It was our 80th year that year, and we did a Roaring 20s party. Because we were established in 1923. It was a very social year that year. We did 2 ski trips to Bryan Head and Park City. We did a baseball game against the Fremont Rotary Club, and a putting tournament, UNLV football game, UNLV basketball game, and Shakespeare Festival. The Rotary International theme that year was Family of Rotary, which our group really embraced. We did a Family of Rotary committee and a group. Also, in honor of our past district governor, Joe Buckley, who passed away that year, we planted a tree for him in the Rotary Park. And also that year was the establishment of the Centennial Project, and we decided to move the cottage over to the Springs Preserve. So that was the first of a couple of years where we set aside money to move the project over. We raised over $250,000 for Rotary and community service projects. We had 184 kids to Santa Claus. We did Safe Street and Students to Sports. We had an extremely successful year that year, and at district conference, our club was given the award of best club in the district.
Thank you, Past President Kathy. So I'm not sure if I've ever seen the next president wear a tie ever, and let alone a bow tie, but we have back-to-back bow tie guys. So, they have a little uniqueness about their 2 years, and I'll let them share about them. Past President Steve Casey, 2004 to 2005. Are you guys both coming up as a combo? All right. Hey, here we go. I wasn't going to say it. I'm going to, which past president? Oh, here you go. I'm going to give it to you first, Steve.
We worked as a combo when we were presidents, and we're working as a combo now. The years that we were president, I was 2004, 2005, and Ned was 2005, 2006. He'll cover that in just a minute. But we were fortunate to share the Rotary Centennial Year, Rotary International Centennial Year, which also turned out to be Las Vegas's centennial year, since it was founded in 1905 also. As part of that celebration, Karen Wissenhunt did a number of great things to help the club. She got the cottage installed at the Springs Preserve, the railroad cottage. she also, I got to make sure I get my notes right here. She set up a twin club relationship with Calgary, Canada. Murray and Neil are here to celebrate that today. And also Tijuana, Mexico. Karen was also named the Rotarian of the Year that year for all of her exceptional work on the Centennial. And Jim Tucker was named Marathon Man because of his continuing years of service to the club and did a great job. Santa Claus has been mentioned a number of times, and my year they had 220 kids, so shows the growth there. And so that was like halfway to where you are right now, almost. And I mentioned that Ned and I did a combo act in our years because the rumor is, and it is a rumor, some of you were not here to enjoy that, but Ned filled in for me a few times that year because I had some other goals, and I did get 105 days of skiing that year, and it was a great year, and I thank Ned for helping me. But the one thing that is unknown, and that we shared on this also, was that we hired Sean Norda as the... And so I have a special presentation for you, Sean. Would you come up? This is from both of us because we both interviewed her and decided she was the one.
Absolutely the best secretary ever.
I'm done.
You're done. I got a call from Kathy Dalby one year, and I answered the phone. It was in the evening, and she said, Ned, we'd like to have you serve as president-elect and then president of the Rotary Club. And I was speechless. I was truly speechless. And I said, are you sure? And she said, well, yes. I said, I'm just little Ned Phillips from York, Pennsylvania. I've lived in Las Vegas since 1980. Most of the people in the club were born in Las Vegas. And I said, are you sure? And she said, yes. And so I said, well, yes, I'll do it. I'll do it. And it was, I had a lot of practice, so I wasn't real fearful because I probably pitched in for Steve. We argue over this all the time, but I was a 6-month president and then a year president. And it's true. Now I absolutely should have gone to some exotic place for the convention, but I think it was the first year of the new century of Rotary, so they had the convention in Chicago. Everybody else went to Japan, Copenhagen, whatever. I went to Chicago. Yeah, San Antonio, Texas. Okay. But I was lucky enough to meet Paul Harris. He was a little stiff. He was a little stiff, but I was lucky enough to meet Paul Harris. During my year, my first year as president, rather than working as president-elect, my first meeting, I asked Marilyn, my wife, to attend with me, and I had her come up and stand with me as part of the opening part of the meeting. And I introduced her as the First Lady of Rotary, and she was the First Lady of Rotary that year. And the theme for Rotary that year was the heart of Rotary, service above self. And I focused on that my year. I also jotted down that we hired Sean, and Then Rotary International District 5300 chose President Ned and First Lady Marilyn as escorts to host Carl Wilhelm Steinmauer, who was Rotary International President that year. And he was coming to Las Vegas, and we were asked to host him. And so Marilyn went and had a new hairdo done, and she got a special dress to wear, and I think I got a new suit, and I was really excited about this. But what were we supposed to do? And Rotary District 5300 said, pick him up at the airport and entertain him. So we picked him up at the airport, and we had sort of planned maybe he'd like to see Hoover Dam or whatever. And he said, no, I'm kind of tired. He said, I tell you what I want. I want to go buy a bathing suit, and I want to go take a nap. And then come back and pick me up for dinner. So that was my exciting day in the field with Rotary International President. We did honor him. We had an interclub dinner with over 200 Rotarians in attendance to welcome him that evening. But all the excitement of what we were going to be able to show fell on deaf ears. He just needed a bathing suit and a nap. I think the one thing that I was most proud of was some of the recognitions that we received from 5300 that year. We had a wonderful year. But we received a Service Above Self recognition primarily because it was during that year that Katrina hit Texas. And I got several calls as president, and I came to Rotary just in shock that morning and wondered what we could do. So I passed around a sign-up sheet, and I said, we need to do something and send this through Salvation Army to aid the people in Texas. And when the sign-up sheet came back, somebody decided to figure out how much money was pledged. And at that luncheon, one luncheon, I wept. $60,000 was raised in one luncheon. We ended up raising over $68,000 before we finished, which was great recognition. And so we received from Rotary International Service Above Self presidential citation that year. And I know that was a good part of it. This is a wonderful group. It was a wonderful year for me. I feel very blessed, and I thank God every day that I was able to serve with such awesome people. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Past President Ned. All right, well, I just want to remind the past presidents of our time limit. Let's move on to the next past president. Oh, golly, that'd be me. Yeah, I am Russ Swain. I served from 2008 to 2009. And you know, Captain Kirk has the pull the mic button right on. We agreed. See? But you know what the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, is I don't need a microphone, right? You know, I'm really grateful to be a member of this club. I joined October of 1994. I got the opportunity to serve as president. I said 08 to 09. And, you know, we had a couple of things that happened during my year that were significant. You know, our Rotary International theme was Make Dreams Real. Our food drive was, we had gotten our asses kicked by the Kiwanians for a number of years, and we came through with just an unbelievable effort in my year, and we collected 101,006 cans that year for Salvation Army, and took the that award back from the Kiwanians, and we have never looked back. We've won it every year since my year. I'm really proud of that. We had, it was a downturn in the economy that year, and we were really struggling. But this club, like Jim said, has always stepped up to the plate, and just when we need help, this club helps. We had 55 new Paul Harris Fellows that year, which was just amazing, and we had over $80,000 in donations to Rotary International. That was the year that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation increased their Rotary donation up to $355 million with another $200 million commitment from Rotary International. And so with that, we were doing the polio pig, and we nicknamed it that year the Swiner. That was pretty good. And we just had a really great year. And like I said, we went to our Rotary International or our Rotary District, and we won a bunch of awards because President-elect Karen Wisenhunt did all the paperwork for me. And I'm going to tell you that we won a bunch of stuff because of her. She was incredible, and it gives me great honor to call up Karen Wisenhunt, our next president, 2009 to 2010. My sister in Rotary right there. Thank Karen.
Okay, I cut it short, right, guys? Pretty good. That's pretty good for Russ. It was my great pleasure to serve as president from 2009 2010. And coincidentally, in my year, we were trying to reach that $1 million goal for the foundation. And thanks to Paul Maffey facilitating a Tiberti foundation contribution of $250,000, we met that goal of $1 million. And this year, in Michael's year, we'll match that to $2 million. So in that short period of time, that's how far we've come, and that's because of all of you. In my year, as with everybody going in as president, I'm sure you'll get solicited and unsolicited advice. My husband, he said, count your friends going in. And when I did, I counted my friends going in, I counted my friends going out, and I'm happy to say he was wrong. I have a lot of friends in this room, and it was an amazing year for me. One thing out of all the past presidents, we always ask all the other past presidents, well, what's your opinion? The one that sticks out to me was the one from Tom Thomas. He said, start the meeting on time, end the meeting on time. The rest doesn't matter. Anyway, I was in the height of the recession in my year. It started in Russ's year, and it continued on into mine, so we lost a lot of members in Russ's year. But, along with that comes the financial burden on the club. With that, we still were able to have one outbound youth exchange student, two $2,000 scholarship to UNLV for an engineer student, 2 inbound students from South Korea, 1 outbound scholar that went to Ghana, 1 outbound World Peace Scholar, a $70,000 scholarship. It was the first one in our district and obviously the first one in our club. The canned food drive, we couldn't let Russ win this one, so we did 134,000 cans, which was amazing, and like he said, we've never looked back. We donated wheelchairs to the children in the community. We sent 1,035 veterans and their families to a UNLV basketball game. We donated to the Red Cross, the Boys and Girls Club, PBS for the Keeping Kids Fit program, to Haiti disaster relief through Shelter Box, an ambulance to India. We hosted judges from Kazakhstan, the boys from Germany, and the funnest part of all was my debunking party was at Kaz's house, and he had the biggest swimming pool, and thanks to Russ, I got very wet. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure serving this club, and I'm honored to have done so.
Thanks, past President Karen. I forgot to mention during my year, our club has this history of sending the president to the Rotary International Convention, to all these exotic places. And, Ned shared, he went, I just got to go all the way to Chicago. In my year, I got to go all the way to Los Angeles. And so, just saying, We now have the president from the 2010-2011 term, past President Tom Axtell. Come on up, Tom.
Thank you, Russ. I hate talking when there's not a time clock, because that's what we do at the TV station. So I'll see if we can get this done. The great experience in my career is you go to president's training at the district, and the district governor kept saying, "Don't worry, you won't fail. Your club will make sure." And I kept saying, well, the presumption that I will fail really bothers me, but he was right. The club does not let you fail. And one of the most humbling experiences of being president is how hard people work, how selfless they are, how imaginative they are. And it's very moving when people say it's a great year in their life. It's because of what everybody does and how they inspire you. But I was one of the few nonprofit executives who've been president. Most of the people come from the private sector. That's their background. And I said, one of the things I think I really need to help this club with is the structure of running a nonprofit. We tended to be an organization that was living year to year, except we had just, as you just heard, completed the $1 million threshold. We now had an endowment. So we put in what I called the advanced funding principle, and that meant that we would take the endowment proceeds from the prior year, add them to the fundraising of the prior year that the president-elect would be responsible, and that would be the fixed number in our budget for our charitable activities going forward, so that the budget had stability in terms of what we could give, because we had regularized it, and the poor president wouldn't come in and say, I'm halfway through the year, can I send kids to RILA and still make these donations? That's the way it used to be. So we put that through. The other principle was other people's money, OPM. That's what I'm good at, right? That's what nonprofit people do. But this club had not routinely written grants. And so we began the process of writing grants to ask for financial support from non-members for things like Santa Claus or the canned food drive and so on. And we've had great support, and families like some of the foundations that have supported us for nearly a decade for Santa Claus. And those are, to me, that was one of the great things. The other thing was that when I went to Rotary International, I was actually stunned by how little I knew about the incredible international work that Rotary does around the world. We would periodically talk about it at the club, but as you just heard from Karen, our club was making huge investments in water projects in Africa, ambulances in Mexico, and wonderful things. So I really wanted to make sure that the rest of you were not as unaware as I was. And so we had a map that showed all of our projects around the world. We tried to incorporate the sense of Rotary as being critical locally, but powerful nationally, and to make sure that you would all really get what this incredible international organization is. And I hope we conveyed that. And then my wife had polio when she was a little girl, and I'm very proud to say that we actively were aggressive in working on the polio project. This club blew everybody away in terms of, in our district, in terms of the donations that we made for that campaign. And I look forward to the day when polio is eradicated, because I know what withered muscles look like. And it's a difficult, even if you have a minor amount of polio racking your body. And then the other thing that I hope we did was to have fun. And we made sure that no good deed in the community or great project in the club was not dutifully fined. And I hope people enjoyed it all. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, next up on our list, past President Sharon McNair. She served 2011 to 2012.
Thank you very much, past President Russ. I wish Tom Axtell was still standing up here, because I have to tell you that my term was supposed to have started July the 1st, 2010, but because of Tom, thank you, Tom, my term actually started on June the 23rd. So I got to do that last meeting that he should have been doing, and boy, was that fun. We had a face of Tom, a picture of Tom, on a stick, which I used to cover my face. And we went ahead and did that June 23rd. Did you know that, Tom? Did you know we did? Okay. Well, thank you very much for putting me in that position. It's my privilege to have been the president from June 23rd to June 30th of 12. I think that's the year. Yes, 12. When I came into office, one of the things that I wanted to do was to do some kind of a different kind of fundraiser. And so we met, we had some volunteers, and decided that the Valentine's Day was a good time to do it. That was yesterday, wasn't it? And we did a Valentine's Day gala that year. That was the first one, and I think they did it for like 2 more years and then switched to something else. But we netted, and you know I'm an accountant, so I have to think about the net, not the gross. But the net, we netted $15,000 for the foundation from that gala, and we also gave $5,000 to the Ronald McDonald House out of that gala. So that was and it was a fun thing. We all got dressed up really fancy, and it was at the Renaissance Hotel. So we enjoyed doing that, and we honored Thalia Dondero. I don't know how many of you out there, probably all of you, pretty much know. She was the first woman on the county commission, and she was also our first woman member. So we honored her. That was a really nice thing to do. And then in May of 12, we decided to do a charity golf tournament, and we did that in memory of our long-term member, J.A. Taberti. And those of you who have looked at the foundation, you know that the foundation is named for him. And it's, of course, for his outstanding service. We raised $12,000 at that golf tournament for that purpose. One of the other things that I really wanted to do was to add to our practice of supporting Bracken Elementary School. And so that year we decided to bring in Beckley. And so we added that to making us have 2 schools that we support. And of course today, you know we still support them. I'm also, and had been for several years, involved with the Interact Club as the advisor or the liaison, I guess you would call, from our club to the Interact. My daughter has been the advisor ever since it was formed. That's Advanced Technologies Academy, and they were our first Interact Club. And so we worked really closely with them that year. They were very, very active with us. They would come to the Santa Claus. They would come to some of our other activities, and they were very active with us. And we also had that year another Interact Club, and it was at Del Sol. We also had, oh, I forgot about this, we had a Kideract, we had a Mideract, and we had a Rotaract club. So we had like 5 of those kinds of clubs. That was really a lot of fun. I think that it was, I forget which one of us talked about the international projects of water. We also did 3 that year. We did an artesian well project in Brazil, a water filtration system in Beirut, and of course then we also got involved in the district wheelchair project. Because I'm very into children's projects, we also did very well with TLC, the Teen Leadership Camp, and also with RILA. We sent 16 to RILA and 12 to TLC, which was quite an accomplishment. We had an ambassadorial scholar completing studies in Ghana, and we had a World Peace Scholar that left in February of 12 to study in Australia. We had service projects that we gave away about $18,000 that year to local organizations, including our project of the Salvation Army, 201,000 cans of food that we gave to them. And of course, we're now at Santa Claus, 310 children. So you can see that we're progressing every year. We also, I'm very pleased to say, received the highest awards at the district conference in every category. And that's all thanks to the members. They just worked really, really hard that year. Outstanding was the way they did it that year, and we got all outstanding. In addition to that, I know one person in our club that worked her little fanny off, and she became the Rotarian of the Year that year. And I was very pleased to announce to everyone that Mary Ann Avnet was our Rotarian of the Year that year. So all in all, you see we've been very, very busy, 2011-12, and I don't regret it. It was wonderful. And my thanks to all the members, they made it perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Past President Sharon. Moving right along, we have Past President Steve Linder, 2014 to 2015. Come on right up, sir.
Thank you, Russ. Well, it's my pleasure to serve the club as president. It's a very humbling year, and it's very much appreciated, all of the work that the club members do. One of the things that we started in my year was a club assembly, because it had never been done before. So club assemblies are now carried on since my year, where the board of directors gets up and informs the club of what's going on, and there's a chance for the members to ask questions. We do that 3 or 4 times a year now. We also, thanks to the help of past President Ginger Anderson and the commission, a committee that she set up, we came up with a club mission, a new club mission, because prior to that, we had been doing grants, giving away money with no real focus. So we wanted to bring all of our efforts into focus, and we come up with a mission that's on the front of your wheel, teaching youth to succeed through literacy, education, and life skills development. And one of the things that led to was our partnership with Spread the Word Nevada, and all of the kids, and thanks to Marie Walsh, all the work that she's been doing over the years, we've impacted hundreds of kids and gotten a lot of books out there into the community. And then just a couple of side notes. Our Lowry Bucks became electronic that year. All of the paper went away, and they had an expiration date on them. And my year was the last year we met in the dining room before we moved over here in Mary Ann's year. So thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience.
Well, we're way ahead of schedule, you guys, and that's great news, because past President Mary Ann Abnett and I have a lot in common. Welcome, past President Mary Ann Abnett, 2015 to 2016.
Thank you, Russ. So I've got like an hour and 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, thanks, Steve, for stealing my thunder, which is where I was going to start with. Everybody knows how much people love change, right? Well, it was a big change to move from that dining room to this room. And it was supposed to happen on July 1st. It actually happened around August 1st. It was kind of a big deal. And I have to say, though, I cannot even tell you how much I appreciate Ed LaPere and his staff, because they worked like crazy to make it work. Because there were days when I would try to speak into this microphone and it would screech. And to the point where, I think I drove Katie Crockett from the room one day. But in any case, it all came together, and now I feel like this is our room, and I can't even think of any place else. I don't know what they do with it the other 6 days, but I know that on Thursday we own Lowry's. So that was the beginning of the year. I wanted to tell you, though, that we had, our board had come together. We had some, 4 specific things we wanted to accomplish that year. And maybe we didn't accomplish all of them that year, but we certainly have accomplished them subsequently. When I was president, I made a 3-ring binder that had my agenda from every week, and then I'd put the wheel in it. So this gave me the opportunity to take a walk back through time and look at every week. And so actually, I thank you, Russ, for giving me the opportunity to do that. One of the things that we did that year that I'm particularly proud of, because it helped to share our message, was that we updated the video about our club this year and that year, and talked about many of the things that were really, really, truly important to us, that confirmed our mission statement, talked about Santa Claus, talked about our commitment to schools and education, and our support for the military. It's still on our website today, which, thanks to Kirk, people can actually find pretty easily or whatever. So I was really happy with all the people that did that. The theme that year was Be a Gift to the World. And in part of that, they also was the first time that the message from Rotary was, we may not be a networking club, but we're proud of what we do for a living. So we introduced craft talks, and that's not C-R-A-P, that is C-R-A-F-T. But it gave Rotarians that were interested in doing so an opportunity to come up and tell people about what they did for a living. And I think all of us learned about each other in that way. And it was a little bit of a different twist. From a membership standpoint, gosh, it also gave me an opportunity as I was looking through the wheels to see all the great members that we brought in that year. Michael told me to actually be honest and keep this real, because some people think that it's really easy to be president and that you always have great support. We did not have great support necessarily from our district governor that year, but you know what? One of the things that year and our membership taught me was how resilient we are and what great support there is from members of this club. So I can tell you that we made it through that year with a great deal of integrity and professionalism, and I think that it brought all of us closer together to overcome a few bumps along the way. It was the first year that we did a car show. And under the chairmanship of President-elect Dave Thorson, we did it at Celebrity Cars, and so this will be our 4th year coming up now. It was the first full year of our sponsorship with Spread the Word Nevada at Beckley, and we would regularly have people come up and do mentor minutes to talk about what it was like in their one-on-one opportunities to spend time with kids there reading. I also was really pleased that year to see it was like, well, my note says it was the year that the 25 Club got cool again, because there was some great leadership from some of our newer members, and suddenly, between people like Jamie and Rob Pistone and Kirk Holmes and Eric Astromecki, we were suddenly doing like great happy hours and social things, and there was a lot of enthusiasm, and it was so great to see that. And since everybody mentioned it up until now, I just want to tell you, we got 149,500 cans for our canned food drive that year with that great 25 Club going full steam ahead there. When I started the year, we had 138 members, 100 men and 38 women. And so it's really nice to look around here and see that I think that number, or at least the ratio, may have changed a little bit. We had wonderful guest speakers, and I think that was a reason why people were so excited about bringing guests here to the Las Vegas Rotary Club. And I thank all of you who participated in that. Louis Anderson not only brought himself, he brought a cameraman, so we got tons of hits on YouTube because he filmed the whole meeting and put it on there. It was also, though, a tinge sad, and I think we always see this, to look through the wheels and see pictures of, it was the year that Bert Perdue passed, to see Bob Patton talking about the tailgate party, and Erwin Kishner talking about whatever Erwin ever wanted to talk about, Rennie Blanchard winning Lowry Bucks, and Janie Lynn talking about SOAR. So it's with a great deal of gratitude that I say I am so glad that I got to be president of this club and a member for the last 12 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. We had quite a few of the past presidents who were unable to attend today's luncheon, and hopefully they can join us in years in the future. But we did have 2 of our past presidents who passed away this last year during President Michael's term, and they were past President Don Ashworth, 1975 to 1976, and past President Erwin Kishner, and he served in 1983 to 1984. So we'll do a moment of silence for those past presidents. Okay, you guys. Again, I want to thank everyone for participating. Our past presidents. We have President Michael asked me to remind you about the 95th anniversary party of this club, and it is April 5th, and that we'll be having a great party. So Hey, thanks for letting me lead this today, and thank everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Russ. So just two more points to add to that. Our 95th birthday party is April 5th. It is a Thursday. It will be in this room. There is a sign-up sheet in the Green Book. Everything that the past presidents talked about, we are working with UNLV libraries, and they are going to have our artifacts here. So they're going to bring stuff that we can touch and see and feel. I do not think that big banner is going to fit in this room, but we will have old rosters and old minutes and board stuff all scattered all over the room to celebrate. So as you know, nothing in this town is 95 years old. We blow it up before it gets to that age, right? So this is something that needs to be celebrated. We have the mayor confirmed. We're working on getting the governor here. We have the bigwig from RI coming. So it's going to be a great night. So please sign up. Secondly, you may have heard about that house that I think Steve Casey talked about, the cottage that was moved to Springs Preserve. The week before, or the week after, I get it wrong now, we're going to have the guy from Springs Preserve speaking here, showing us pictures. And that night, we're going to have a social at our cottage that you guys all paid to move. So we're going to have something there. So please be aware, we are trying to build and stand on the shoulders of everybody who came before us to celebrate that. So with that, as I say always, and for the 95th, we won't have rice. You guys are safe. I won't do that again in my year. Okay. So as I always say, Rotary is like tennis. The one who serves best usually wins. Now go forth and make a difference.